Fantasy Football Hour with your host, the commish, Double Dwayne Bowe.
Thank you. Thank you guys. No, stop. Seriously, stop. Come on. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Football Hour with your host, me, the commish, Double Dwayne Bowe. You guys are in for a treat tonight. We've got a wonderful show. We've got 9 mystery guests on tonight's show. Oh, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. I cannot wait. We'll get to that later, though. But I want to start off tonight's show. As we all know, everyone who watches, everyone who's involved in the fantasy football world, the most prestigious and most competitive league there is, the League of Tremendous Gentlemen, recently had their draft. And, you know, after a draft comes predictions and projections and all that good stuff. So we're going to be discussing a lot about that tonight, going over predictions. So, as you know, they do their league on Yahoo Sports, fantasysports.com. So, what we've put together for our first segment of tonight's show is a projection list of points. Our esteemed mathematicians, excuse me, I'm sorry about that, crazy night. Our esteemed mathematicians have gone through each team, their projected points, and added together all those points and have come up with basically a projection of where everyone's going to finish this year, 1 through 10. So, let's get started, shall we? All right, okay. So, here's the list that we've come up with. Projected to finish in 10th place with 2,801 points. We have Dez didn't do it. You know, he might not have done it, but who knows? If you're going to finish last, he probably did do it. I don't know. Anyways, finishing in 9th place with 2,932 points. We have, some say he's going to be the best newcomer this year. These projections aren't helping his case too much. Kundif Kanchenko. Your team might just shank all season long, but I guess we'll find out. You know, week 1 just started, but we'll see how it goes. Moving on to 8th place with 2,988 projected points, we have Tebow Stakes. Yeah, I mean, with the name that involves Tebow, I'm sorry. It's just, you're not projected to finish well. I apologize for that. Projected to finish in 7th place with 3,004 points. It's going to be a little bit of a shocker for everyone. Cam Newton's Law. You heard it here, folks. Our mathematicians have come up with it. 7th place, that's not a good start. Going back to a couple weeks ago, one of the league members actually was quoted as saying that he will finish around 6th or 7th place this year. And that, of course, we all know as My Morning Doucette. So take it to the bank, folks. He may be right. Anyways, moving on to 6th place with 3,019 points. Vaughn down by the Miller. 6th place finish after last year's Rookie of the Year campaign. It's kind of a fall off, but that's why we play the game, right? You play to win the game, as quoted by Herm Edwards. Finishing 5th place, 3,073 points. No soup for you! No soup for you. 5th place, that's a step up. Step up from last year. He finished, I think it was 7th. No, 8th. I apologize. 8th place. So he's moving on up in the world. Projected to finish in 4th place with 3,148 points. My Morning Doucette. My Morning Doucette. Hopefully your Morning Deuces produce this 4th place finish for you as a step up from last year's disappointing 5th place finish. And moving on, so we have 3 teams left. We have Joe Buck Yourself, we have Your Breast on Steve, and we have Double Dwayne Bowe. What's it going to be? Here it comes. 3rd place, 3,218 points. Joe Buck Yourself. You know, a lot of people say after the draft he probably had the best draft. His team looked pretty good. But these projections don't lie, folks. 3rd place, Mark it down. 2 teams left. Who's it going to be? No one knows. In second place, with projected 3,243 points, we have Your Breast on Steve. There it is. First-year player projected to finish second place in the most sought-after league in the world. Everyone wants to be in this league, but there's only a select few who get to participate. And that being said, to finish in first place with a projected 3,270 points, your commish himself, Double Dwayne Bowe. Mark it down, folks. First place finish. And now I'd like to welcome in a new segment of the show. It's going to be here every week, guys, so look forward to it. It's my personal projections for the week. We've got 5 very interesting matchups, 10 very good teams, but only one can win each week in each matchup. So, we have our first matchup. Joe Buck yourself versus Your Breast on Steve. As in the projections stated earlier in the show, these are the teams to pick to finish second and third in this league. Fortunately, one of them's going to get a loss here and start their season off rough. Joe Buck's got a pretty solid team, and so does Your Breast on Steve. Unfortunately, I just think some of Your Breast on Steve's players are gonna have a not so good year this year. I think Reggie Bush is gonna be in for a long year. The Miami Dolphins has no passing attack, no receiver, so I think it's gonna be hard for Reggie Bush to find running room this year. Chad's wide receivers are stacked. I really think his only downfall may be his quarterback position, but he's got a new target in Brandon Marshall, who they're very familiar with. So that could prove to be very good for him. So I'm going to go ahead and take Joe Buck yourself to win against Your Breast on Steve. Moving on, our second matchup. No Soup for You versus Tebow Steaks. Tough matchup here. We got a rookie coming in trying to prove her worth. We've got No Soup for You, who this is his 3rd year now in this league. He's looking for some improvement, and I think he's got the team to do it. He's got a pretty solid team this year. If Michael Vick can stay healthy, who knows what he can produce. Tebow Steaks, your team's good, but unfortunately, they're not explosive enough to put up a lot of points each week. You've got solid players, but I just don't see you being able to keep up this week. I think No Soup for You is going to take this one home. And now we've got Von Down by the Miller versus Cam Newton's Law. Both these teams I think are pretty good. Jared's team is solid. He's got a pretty good team based on name, but you got to look at Adrian Peterson. He's coming off that big injury. He's actually coming back pretty fast. He injured it in December, and it's only been 9 months. I've seen players take over a year for this recovery. So Adrian Peterson is a freak, so we'll see how it works out. I myself like Adrian Peterson, and I hope he recovers, but it's unknown right now, but we will see. Von Down by the Miller, your team is interesting. You took some risks in the draft. You took Darren Sproles pretty high. We'll see how that plays out. But I'm going with the upset this week. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jared. I think Matt Schaub's going to have a big week. I think he is really underrated this year. We've all seen what he can do in the past. He was hurt all of last year, and I think he's going to come back against Miami with a really good week 1. And unfortunately, I think Cam Newton's going to hit a sophomore slump this year. So we will see what happens, but I'm going to take the upset. Von Down by the Miller over Cam Newton's Law. Now, we have a pretty interesting matchup here. We've got the biggest trash talker in the league in My Morning Giuseppe. And then we've got a rookie in this league, but definitely no rookie in fantasy sports by any means, in Kundif Kanchenko. 2 solid players here. 2 pretty good teams. I think I'm going to give the edge to my Morning Dew set. Kundif, your team is good. Your running backs got off to a good start, but unfortunately, this week it doesn't really matter. I think they're going to be the worst part of your team eventually. But Trevor's got Aaron Rodgers. We all know what he's capable of. He's got receivers who have huge potential to put up 20 plus in a week at any given time. So it's going to be tricky, but I'm going to go ahead and go with my Morning Dew set for the win. And now, the matchup we've all been waiting for. Double Dwayne Bowe versus Dez Didn't Do It. We already had a game played. He scored 31 points compared to my 14. He had 3 players play compared to my 1. It doesn't really mean anything, but he still has Drew Brees, so I'm worried about that. And I'm kind of upset with Eli Manning, but we'll hear from him later in the show. But I think he'll rebound nicely next week. It doesn't matter this week, but my team's gonna recover from the slow start that he gave us, because we're a team. We pick each other up. So I'm obviously going to pick myself over Dez Didn't Do It. I think his biggest weaknesses are going to be his running backs. So there it is. So the winners this week I have Joe Buck Yourself, No Soup for You, Vaughn Down by the Miller, my Morning Dew set, and Double Dwayne Bowe. There it is, and that wraps up this week's segment of Prediction Time.
This has been Prediction Time with the Commish.
Now to get to the guest speakers. They are the 9 guest speakers, and they are going to tell you why Double Dwayne Bowe will finish in first place. So, kick things off. We have, who is it going to be, guys? I know you're excited. We have the starting quarterback himself for Double Dwayne Bowe, Mr. Eli Manning. Welcome in. Here he is.
Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet. Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
Wow, Eli. Those are some good facts right there. I like that. We'll see if it can carry out, though. But I'm looking forward to watching this season. It's going to be fun. Our next guest. He is the first starting wide receiver for Double Dwayne Bowe. Who is he going to be? Some of you guys know him as the classiest person in the NFL. He's a real class act. He's also a freak of nature. Mr. Larry Fitzgerald. Everybody please welcome Mr. Larry Fitzgerald.
Warner to pass with time, fires over the middle to Fitz, caught at the 45, 50, Fitz is loose, 40, 30, goodbye, and 5, Cardinals lead, touchdown, Larry Fitzgerald.
Wow, that's a bold statement, Larry. Are you sure about that? Okay. I didn't mean to question your ethics here. I'm sorry, but those seem like good reasons to me. Oh, Larry. Well, we thank you for having me on the show. Next guest. He is another starting wide receiver for this team. He's reunited with his favorite quarterback from back in their days in Denver. Many of people projecting him to have a huge year. Please welcome Brandon Marshall.
Orton on a 1st and 10. From Marshall, what a catch against Corey Webster, and look, that's Orton with time for Brandon Marshall, what a catch by Marshall.
doesn't matter. Watch this. That's as beautiful a catch as your...
I like those reasons. I mean, if you do that kind of stuff, this team's going to go far, and I'm excited. And now we have our third and final starting wide receiver for the team. He had some controversy a couple years ago in the media after dropping a pass, but he's here to squash it all down and tell you why he's going to help Double Dwayne Bowe win. Here he is, Stevie, God Let Me Down, Johnson!
And I'ma fuck you, blow that loud, boy.
After the DJ stop the music, they say they want that wild shit. My spit, I'm up in the crowd, bitch. I'm so motherfucking violent.
Yeah, bitch.
G4, will you rumble in the club? John Cena. I'm screaming Riverdale everywhere I go. I throw them bands, huh?
And now, one of the main reasons why this team is projected to do well. He's one of 6 men to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season. He actually came to training camp this year. He's in shape, he's ready to go, and he's got a new passing attack. People think he's in for a huge year. So welcome, Chris Johnson, CJ 2K.
At the rooftop. So high up here, nigga. Let's go.
Take yourself a picture when I'm standing at the mound, and I swear it's going down. I'm just repping from off the ground. Yeah, all hail Mr. Lyrical. Spades of the opus, baby. What you got a feeling for? I can show you new things. Hey, take yourself a picture when I'm standing at the mound, and I swear it's going down. I'm just repping from my town. Off a cup of CJ Gibson, man. I'm faded off the ground, and I'm easily influenced by the niggas I'm around.
That's impressive. That's impressive. You can't fault that. That right there is just pure magic. And if it's like that this year, good luck. Good luck to the rest of the teams. That's all I'm saying. So Chris, thanks for having you. Moving on, our next guest is the other starting running back for Double Dwayne Bowe. He burst onto the scene last year, coming out of the shadow of Marshawn Lynch back when he played for Buffalo. Came out of nowhere last year to have a huge year. Unfortunately, he was slowed down by a fractured ankle. But he's back, he's fully healthy, and he's ready to have a huge year. Mr. Fred Jackson.
Man, I'm playing is holding all the knowledge. In 5 minutes of funk off my tone, read the label shown. Is it Pete Rock or Oliver Stone?
Bills. And there goes Freddie Jackson taking off. Foot race inside.
You better watch your step. No further than the really can't accept. Jealous brother.
Wow, I like that. Thanks. Whew. Moving on. Starting tight end. You know, the New England Patriots have always been known for their vaunted passing attack, and last year, 2 tight ends burst onto the scene. Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. Double Dwayne Bowe is lucky enough to land Aaron Hernandez this year, and here he has to tell you why he's going to help his team win. Here he is, Aaron Hernandez, everybody.
One brilliant drive, Gino. Oh, yeah. Once again, just doing what they've been able to do.
3rd down and 2. Snap to Brady. Handoff comes to the left side. It's a first down for Hernandez across the 50 to the 40 to the right. First and goal at the Dallas 8. Brady takes the snap. Looks, fires, end zone.
Wow, thanks, Aaron. Those are some good points. I really appreciate that. So, a lot of people look down on this next position. But I'm here to tell you, this guy right here is going to be kicking long field goals every week. And he's going to be giving me lots of points. He's a freak of nature. He could probably make an 80-yard field goal if he really wanted to. He's got a huge leg. He's playing with Peyton Manning. Mr. Matt Prater, everybody.
Left hash. Matt Prater from 51 yards out for the win. The kick is good.
Wow. Talk about some leg. That one cleared the crossbar by a good 40 yards. That would have been good from the other side of the stadium. It's insane. I like it. I like your reasoning. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for joining us here tonight. And now, last but not least. Whoa. Oh, this just in. It's not one person. we have 11 people coming out here at once. Last year, they burst onto the scene once again. A very improved defense. Here they are, the Seattle Seahawks' entire starting defense.
Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10A. He doesn't need his name up in lights. He just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know him, but no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means what?
To get some respect, he's only focused on what he wrote. His will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds. The skill of an artist. This is 20% skill, 80% gear, be 100% clear. Cause right
Touches a key or speaks in a rhyme, and those other fellas he runs with, the kids that he signed, ridiculous, without even trying. How do they do it? This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. Fort Minor.
Wow. Talk about intense. Wow. If that holds true, this is going to be a long year for some people. Long year for some people. Well, anyways, I would like to thank our guests tonight. They came on here, had some very solid arguments for why Double Dwayne Bowe is going to have a very successful season this year. But anyways, that wraps up tonight's show. I hope you all enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It's going to be fun. We look forward to the first Sunday of the NFL season, coming up in just 2 days now. So, anyways, tune in next week, America, where you never know. This show is going to be different every week. It's going to be exciting. I love it. Anyway, good night, and you stay classy, the League of Tremendous Gentlemen. I love you. Goodbye.